It's that time of the week again to talk about the latest spoilers and leaks for the upcoming episode of Bleach. Last week's episode saw the adaptation of the first half of Shunsui's battle against Lil Barrow, but this week we are going to be cutting back to Mayuri vs Pernida, and there is quite a lot to talk about. As always, we'll be going over the episode synopsis and the staff list revealed on the official Bleach anime website, along with the 5 preview images which have been revealed. In addition to this, we also have some leaks about what the post-credit scene is going to be in episode 36, as well as the title for episode 37, so you definitely want to make sure that you stick around until the end of the video. Without further delay, let's dive into the spoilers and leaks for episode 36 of the 1000 Year Blood War arc anime. We got really tired of the same old boring anime shirts, so we decided to launch Getsuga.com with the aim of creating designs inspired by our favorite anime and manga. We came up with designs that look cool and represent all of our favorite stories. Check out the latest Instinct collection, which features some amazing designs like this Frosted Heavens design inspired by Toshiro Hitsugaya, or this Instinct design inspired by Holo Ichigo, and my personal favorite, which is the Heart design, which was inspired by Ukiura Shifa. Do not miss out, go to Getsuga.com and wear your favorite stories. So the story synopsis states, with the use of his Volstandig Divine Judgment, Lil Barrow transforms and launches a relentless assault. This leaves Shunsui with no choice but to counter with his Bankai. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, the fight against Pernida continues to escalate, with the power of Ashisogi Jizo proving to be insignificant to stop the Sternritter. Nemu then intervenes in the fight, facing the enemy as it absorbs information from the battlefield to evolve. Nemu, rather than relying on Mayuri's orders, begins to think for herself as she grows and strives to fulfill her mission. So what awaits Nemu and Mayuri at the end of this battle? So that does sound like a super exciting story synopsis, as we now have the staff list, and again we've got Masaki Hiramatsu on the script. This week's episode director is Jung Yong-hun, and he had previously directed episode 29. The storyboards for this week's episode have been handled by Susumu Nishizawa, and this is actually their first contribution to the Bleach 1000 Year Blood War arc anime, but they have worked in the industry for years, storyboarding several Gintama episodes as well as being credited for the storyboard for Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So it does seem like the storyboard for episode 36 is in good hands. The credit of Chief Animation Director for episode 36 is given to Kiyoshi Komatsubara, who previously has Chief Animation directed episodes 4, 8, and 11 of Core 1, as well as being the Chief Animation Director for 6 episodes of Core 2, and they were previously credited this title for Core 3 episodes 30 and 33, so it's great to see them returning for episode 36. This now brings us to the 5 preview images on the official Bleach anime website. So the first image here is of Nemu reacting to Pernida, then the second image is of Mayuri here during the fight, then we've got this shot of Pernida getting ready to fire one of its arrows, then we have images which cut to a flashback sequence which we know is going to be in episode 36, and we see here a younger Akon, and this final preview image is of Nemu when she was a young girl. So I did want to clarify that episode 36 complete title is Baby Hold Your Hand, Never Ending My Dream, and this is titled after chapter 644. So we know that the episode is going to begin with material from chapter 640 as it adapts everything from the beginning of the chapter after Mayuri's Bankai devours Pernida, but then its body begins to convulse as Pernida breaks out of it, so it seems like nearly all of chapter 640 is going to be adapted before the opening song, as we have all of this where Nemu saves Mayuri from being attacked by one of Pernida's arrows. So yeah, this is the final shot that the pre-intro sequence ends on, so all of chapter 640 will be adapted up until that point. Following the opening song, we begin with material from chapter 641 as we see this interaction between Mayuri and Nemu, as Nemu hands to him flesh healing medicine to heal his left arm. So for the first half of the episode, all of chapter 641 is adapted. Then following that, we cut to material from chapter 642, which has this flashback of Nemu as a young girl. So the entirety of this flashback sequence is adapted, and it's great to see that these cool designs of Mayuri, which are in this flashback sequence from chapter 642, have also made it into the episode. So that's definitely going to be really fun to look at. Also, when we see these small images of Nemu here, each of them have been drawn into the episode. The first half of episode 30 36 adapts all the way up until the very end of chapter 642 after Nemu unleashes her Gikon Jurinju. The second half of the episode begins by adapting content from chapter 643. This is where Nemu appears to have been defeated, and yes, we are going to be getting the iconic Xyle Aparo sequence adapted into this episode where he speaks to Mayuri about perfection. I cannot tell you how long that I've been waiting for this interaction to be adapted into the anime. Even though all of this happens within the headspace of Mayuri, it's still fantastic to see. And yeah, we're gonna see this in the second half of episode 36. All of chapter 643 will be faithfully adapted. This now brings us to the very end of the episode, which adapts the first half of chapter 644, and this is mostly showing us Ikkaku and Yumichika arriving to see Mayuri after the fight, as we then see the bodies of Hitsugaya and Rangiku restored back to normal after they were zombified by Giselle. So yeah, it's great to finally see them return to the battlefield, as Mayuri literally taps out and heads into one of the healing pods, the Ikkaku and Yumichika thanking him. They also place Kimpachi into his own respective healing pod. So yeah, it's at this very point here where episode 36 cuts to the credits, literally at the midpoint of chapter 644. Interestingly, we do have a post-credit scene here, and it mixes some anime original content along with content from chapter 630. So the anime original content features Lil Toto and Giselle as they infiltrate Vahrvelt, and there are some additional scenes here, but they all tie into this interaction between Bazbi and Hashwad from chapter 630. So we don't get to see too much before the post-credit scene ends, but it is hinting at their battle about to take place, hopefully after next week's episode. In terms of the leaks, we learned that the soundtrack Here to Stay, which is a very emotional song, will play during Nemu's death scene. The leaks have also confirmed that Pernida is still in CGI, but it looks good in episode 36. For all of the gooners out there, the nude Nemu scene has not been cut for this episode. Like I mentioned, there will be anime-only additions which have been made to the post-credit scene. Apparently, some of these additions include Menines and Candice returning as zombies, with Giselle bringing them and Bambietta to fight against Yuhobak. So yeah, like I mentioned, the post-credit scene does end with Bazbi confronting Hashwad from chapter 630. Now, it's time to talk about episode 37, and for the very first time in the entire history of the 1000-Year Blood War arc anime, we have an original episode title which has not been taken from a chapter title or a volume title. Episode 37 has been titled Shadows Gone, and the end of the episode features a poem by Nanao. So episode 37 will feature the second half of the battle against Lil Baro, as we're also going to be seeing the reveal of Nanao's Shinken Hakyoken, so that's going to be a lot to look forward to. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I have in terms of the spoilers and leaks for episode 36 of the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc anime. There is definitely a lot to look forward to. Nemu is going to be getting her moment to shine. We're going to be seeing the return of Xyle Aparo. Mayuri vs Pernida is going to be concluding. We're going to see the return of Hitsugaya and Rangiku, as well as the anime original post-credit scene at the end of the episode. There is so much to look forward to as we're now heading towards the final 2 to 3 episodes of Core 3, with Shunsui vs Lil Baro to look forward to, as well as Hashwald's major fight against Bazbi, which is being hinted as being the final battle for Core 3. Let me know all of your thoughts about this latest episode's leaks and spoilers by continuing the discussion in the comments. And lastly, thank you for making it to the end of this video, and I cannot wait to see you on the weekend for my complete episode review for episode 36, as well as my manga versus anime breakdown. A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.